Lark Rising Studios, and today I'm going to teach you how to do seed stitch. A seed stitch is a really versatile stitch that you can use to fill in an area completely or to just scatter stitches throughout for a really cool effect. I'm looking forward to sharing this stitch with you. Let's begin. Seed stitch is super simple. If you can make one single stitch, you can do seed stitch because it's just that over and over with nothing fancy or complicated. Bring your needle up through the back side of the fabric and then reinsert it just a little way away in any direction. That's your first seed. Seed stitch means that it looks like little stitches scattered all about, kind of like grains of rice or seeds on your fabric. It's really important that your seed stitches go in all different directions. You don't want them only going like sort of vertically or sort of horizontally unless you're using a pattern that calls for that. It really should be as random as you can make it. And make sure you work in areas that are nice and close together, filling in kind of one section at a time. Otherwise, you're wasting thread by stretching across the back side of the fabric. As you work, you'll need to consider the size of your stitches and try to keep them consistent. Some patterns will want you to use stitches that are about a 1/16 of an inch, really tiny. Others might be more like a 1/4 of an inch, but that's usually about as big as it gets for seed stitch. Consider how filled in of a space you want to make, whether you want to be able to see fabric in between your stitches or whether you want to try and cover an area of fabric completely. So if you want to cover your fabric more completely without any visible in between, you'll need to make sure that you're layering stitches, they'll cross over one another. Some of them will share holes where they're going into or out of the fabric. All of that is exactly right. You're going to need to use all these techniques to be able to fill in any of that visible space. And it is okay if you end up with a couple of stitches next to each other that are going the same way. That's not going to be a big deal in the long term of, filling an entire area with seed stitch. Just do your best to angle the stitches all in different directions and enjoy this meditative process. If you look at this design, I've used seed stitch to create this really nice texture and fill in all of these different fruits. I've used really small stitches, putting them close together and layering them until the entire space was filled. Here, I've also used seed stitch. First, on these little bunny tails, I've used seed stitch in 3 different colors to create an ombre effect. But this time, instead of putting my seed stitches in all different directions, I have most of them going generally pointed toward the top of the hoop to show the direction of growth. This grassy layer behind is also seed stitch in 2 different colors, again with the seed stitches generally going toward the top of the hoop, but none of them is exactly the same. The neighbors to each stitch are going in slightly different directions to create a really nice grassy meadow effect. I'm looking forward to seeing how you use Seed Stitch. Happy stitching!